My son discovered our open marriage arrangement, and he's been different ever since.
I would be too.
So, for context, we've been open for 3 years. My husband and I are very happy, and we have been careful not to fall into the traps of breaking rules or boundaries. By the way, this comes from user Parents Who Need Advice and user throwaway 24372833237. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah.
And we are here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't know all the answers, okay? So just let us know what you would do in the comments. We're going to let you know what we would do right now. And OP says, as a couple, we are doing fine. He has met some wonderful people, and so have I, who have become close friends to us. We have been very lucky since we have avoided any bad actors so far, at least. 2 months ago, my son told my husband that he apparently believed I was cheating on him. I'm guessing he must have found out about one of my partners. My husband told me, and we decided to talk to him and reassure him that we as a couple were doing fine, that we loved him, and nothing was going to change. He seemed very anxious to have that conversation end, and I don't blame him, since it was awkward, even for us, to have to explain. Yeah, of course it's awkward!
Yeah, how do you even, have that conversation? And plus, are you, trying to keep it from, your son? I feel like, he doesn't really need to know if, but obviously if you're not careful about it.
I thought the conversation went as well as it could with a teenage boy because he seemed calm, just said, okay, and never brought it up again. Yeah, I'm sure he put that in a box and buried it under his bed and tried his hardest to forget it. Last week, one of my partners stopped by because I needed to borrow something, and he stopped by again last Saturday to deliver it. My son was at home, and my partner greeted him as he always does. They both enjoy music and have pretty much the same taste. My partner asked him about a band that was supposed to be playing. My son responded, yeah, I don't care. I know why you're really here, so don't talk to me. And then walked out.
That's fire.
That's honestly baller. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. Go, I don't know. You're just here to crack my mom. It's okay. I had told my partner that we had informed our son about our lifestyle, but not with whom, of course, and I had no idea he knew who I was seeing. He's the only one of my partners that he knows, and we have never done anything in our house. We have no idea how my son came to find out. He blocked my partner on Facebook and hardly speaks that much to me or my husband anymore. He now views everyone with suspicion, including my husband's best friend, who has no idea we are non-monogamous. He is, of course, a teenager, but he has never acted in this way before and refuses to talk to anybody. We have put our lifestyle on hold and have not seen anyone since that outburst, nor do we plan to until we find some way to resolve this. I honestly want to ask for advice on how to handle this, and if anyone else has had to have this difficult conversation with their sons or daughters. And there are some relevant comments. To center this in and not try to make a joke right now, you are in a very hard position. And I think you have to first get clear with your son about, hey, I can tell you have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this, which is very fair and not wrong. So I want to get clear on what they are. And then we can try to get to a place where everyone can be comfortable in our home again. Because at the end of the day, you and your partner are two consenting adults who are married and have made this arrangement, and it works for you. Okay. When asked how old the son is, he is 15. He'll be 16 in a few weeks, actually, which he reminded me of when he said he didn't want to celebrate his birthday. He just seems anxious, and he now only eats when we're done so he can eat by himself. And we tried something stupid, and that was to say to him that he should sit down and eat with us and that his behavior was not acceptable. But then he refused to eat altogether and only ate at school, and even brought food from school in his backpack and ate in his room. Tora Ryder says, that's a pretty extreme response, to be honest. When I was about his age, I had a massive reveal in my family as well. It made me distrust a lot of people, but after a bit, my grandmother basically got to the point that she couldn't talk to me, so I needed to see someone. I resented being put in therapy for about a month. My grandma made it clear that she loved me and was there for me, but whatever was happening was something she could see I didn't want to discuss with her. But holding in the pain and anger and betrayal is unhealthy. My therapist eventually got me to a point where I could have a discussion with those who were involved in the big issue. It was hard and awkward, but it worked. I was about 13 at the time, so a bit younger. Is there a parent he's closer to? Could one of you offer to sit with him just you all and present your concerns. Son, your parent and I are worried about you. We know the reveal is hard, and we don't expect you to accept and love this situation, but we've been this way for a while. If you won't talk with us about it, is there someone you can? We are worried about you. Something like that. Also, it may just be a situation of wait it out, depending on how long this is going to go on. OP replies, he just seems dead set on keeping quiet and refuses to engage with us, and it seems he has decided to keep his head down. There is one adult, but me and my husband are hoping to God he does not share this with him, and that is my husband's brother, who is the polar opposite of my husband. My husband's brother is like all men in my husband's family, military or former military. It's a military family, and my father-in-law gave my husband a lot of grief when he was my son's age because he broke tradition and became an academic. However, my father-in-law treats like a son almost. I just pray he doesn't mention this to them. And also, we have not told him not to tell them. He is free to tell whomever he wants. We can't really control it at this point. We're just waiting for my brother-in-law to find out, which I suspect is just a matter of time. How did the son find out? OP says, I don't blame him for finding out because I think I know how since I remember he borrows my iPad from time to time. And if I had stupidly forgot to log out of my other account, which I never forget, but I might have once, I don't even want to think about what he saw. Oh, the horror!
Yikes!
The horror!
I saw my mom cracking.
OP on having partners in the house. We never have people running in and out of the house at all. The one partner I mentioned is the only one since my son has known him for many years, as we have done. He is the same age as my husband, and my husband trusts him, and so do I. He's been a family friend that happens to be my partner. He is in an open relationship as well. His wife is aware of me, and there have been no dramas between us. He's the only one who stops by, which he does once in a while, but never for the spice of sleep, and certainly not on a Saturday afternoon with my son home. We usually find a place to be together outside of our home to precisely avoid this, and my husband does the same with his partners. On how the son is acting, he is not really rude either. That one comment towards my partner is really the only real comment that he has made. He's not rude, he just doesn't want to talk to us about anything anymore. I tried carefully to ask him how his day was, and he just said fine, and those are the answers I've been getting. Either yes or no answers, and fine. He used to talk to me about difficult things, and now he just seems to have lost all trust in me and his father. My husband has tried to talk to him as well, but he does not want to share anything with him either. I Caught Fire says, kind of a nightmare situation for me as our son is getting older. The wife and I have very different views on open marriage, and I see this conversation exploding. Hope the best for you as I have to see this in our future. OP says, it's been hard. He's going to be 18 in 2 years. And he seems to want to do one thing just to spite me, and that is join the army. He knows I'm a pacifist and don't want him in the army. My husband's brother is in the service, and he was always very similar to him in many ways. I hope we can resolve this, and hopefully that he understands in 2 years. Because I have a feeling he has just decided to keep his head down, which is how he's been acting, avoiding me and my husband as much as possible while focusing on himself, and then just stay quiet until he turns 18 so he can run off to the army. I'm terrified, and mean no disrespect to those that serve. I'm just terrified of him joining for the wrong reasons, especially if it's to spite me and his father. And there is an update, and I agree, that would be the dumbest reason anyone could possibly join the military.
Yeah.
To bother your parents.
I'm going to show them.
I'm going to show them for signing up for the worst job on the face of the planet. War. And again, not disrespecting any service members. It's just, you need to know that that's what you're signing up for. You're signing up for the thing that everyone says is like the worst thing ever. Hey, and thank you for serving, but this kid's not thinking right about that. 6 months later, I just wanted to say that the last few months have been difficult. You don't say. He's been giving us the silent treatment except when we ask him to do anything like chores or homework. I can't complain too much since he cleans his room, does the dishes when it's his turn, and for a teenage boy is very responsible. But he seems to be keeping his head down and refuses to engage with us. He has at least decided he can sit at the same table with us and eat dinner again, which took 3 months to happen. We tried after 2 months since writing the post to slowly ease him into the conversation and explain things, but he was not very receptive and did not respond to anything we were saying. We also apologized if he felt lied to and told him sorry that he was led to believe I had been cheating on his father, and assured him that I love his father and we are not splitting up. He had known about my partner for quite a while, longer than I realized. He had known for almost 4 months and had been agonizing over how to tell his father. In that time, a lot of anger and resentment towards me had been festering. He at least answers his father now in full sentences, but with me, he's keeping me at arm's length. I think the way he found out and believed for so long that I cheated, coupled with not knowing what to do and being scared to tell his father, caused a lot of damage. Not to mention, the kid is 16.
Yeah, that's a lot to process at 16.
Put him in therapy. Be like, we're going to put you into therapy and you can tell them exactly how much you dislike me.
That's true.
We're sending you to therapy so you could say all of the negative things that you need to get off your chest about me. When his father said, I know, and it's okay, she's not cheating, it was probably a lot to handle. Instead of being relieved, he felt lied to and humiliated by all the pain he endured, believing I had cheated. I understand that now, but it has been very hard since I have not been able to even give him a hug in a long time. I touched his shoulder to remind him of something, and he froze and looked really uncomfortable. So that's the update. Not really happy, sorry to say, and it's been hard. We've stopped all dates since, obviously, but I'm not sure what more I can do except give him space and hope he finally decides to speak to me again. And by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories like this one on your favorite podcast platform. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to podcasts, just search OK Storytime. And you've got a whole mountain of episodes to listen to. Oh, there's one more update 3 months later. I gotta say, it does seem like his reaction is very extreme.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think but also everyone processes things in different ways. But I do think that he's taking this to another level of I don't understand and I need someone to blame. And my mom is the bad person in this, because she's cheating or she's seeing someone else. She's being, the bad person in this situation. He's not giving anyone a chance to kind of explain the situation, but also as a teenager, you're not going to understand it anyway. So I think he's just nah, I've made up my mind. I don't like you anymore. And that is such a teenage thing to do.
Very true. 3 months later. Hi, OP here. Well, a year later, he at least talks normally to his father, but he is still keeping me at arm's length. I literally have not been able to give him a hug since before this happened. He finally opened up to my husband about what exactly he discovered, and it was a picture of me and one of my partners taken at a resort. My husband tried to explain, and I apologized to him for what he saw because I was the one who said it was okay to use the iPad, and I did not close the tabs or log out of my account. He has not acted out, but he seems to have closed off from me completely and only me. He talks to everyone normally now except me, so that's the update. And that is the end of that story. I think your son needs therapy to figure out how to deal with that.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't know how to express how he feels towards you. My wife's new friends convinced her I'm a loser, so I revealed my net worth.
And it's $500.
I, 35 male, and my wife, 33 female, have been together for about 5 years, married for just about 1. I met her while I was an entrepreneur running my company, and she was scaling the corporate ladder. Just around the time we met, I was in the process of selling a company that I founded. By the way, this comes from throwaway account 9986, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I am Dakota.
And we're here to give you some good advice, goofily, but obviously we don't have all the answers. We're only going to tell you what we would do in this situation. We would love to know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, my parents' solid financial situation allowed me to borrow money on favorable terms and retain a majority equity stake that paid out very well. My parents immigrated to America in debt from the plane ticket, but worked hard and made their way. One of those things they taught me was to spend wisely. Being showy with your money was something I just grew up not liking. I bargain hunt for clothes, I drive a Subaru, live in a pretty modest house. Now I spend my time running charitable organizations and making a very modest income, which of most I either donate back or save. When my wife and I first started dating, I told her I was transitioning jobs to try and give back more, and she was very supportive and proud of me doing that. However, over the past 1 to 1.5 years, she has seen her career surge with her already very good salary increasing by multiples, and I could not be more proud of her. Throughout the time we dated, we were engaged and got married. I never really revealed the extent to which I had money, however. So on to the argument. As my wife's career took off, she became surrounded by more successful people. Most of these people are pretty nice, but there are some people who I don't like, particularly this group of girls who my wife became friends with. Over the past year, they've invited my wife out for drinks after work, and she eventually acquiesced to their invitations. This coincides with the change in her behavior from the humble, hardworking girl I knew to someone more concerned about status. She traded in her Nissan for a BMW, her normal clothes for designer, but what really bothered me was the change in her behavior. She started gossiping more, viewing herself as better for making more money, and had an arrogance about her that I found very unattractive. People weren't just people, but they were poor or rich, and her respect for you depended on what you did. She became more curt with waiters and waitresses.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, I hate that.
The ultimate red flag.
Yeah.
I will never be with a partner who is like obtuse to waitresses.
She would come back tipsy or wasted some nights, and our love life definitely took a downswing. I walked into the house last night after spending a few hours with my friends and heard her talking in our room. She was oblivious to the fact I was in the house and the phone was on speaker. I heard her friend complaining about me, my simple life, and asking her why she was with me. After all, as far as they know, I don't make that much money and just volunteer. I'm not a high-class man. I expected my wife to tell her to stop or at least try and defend me, but instead I heard her dismiss my work and complain about my life choices. When she walked out, she looked surprised to see me and asked me how long I had been home, to which I snarkily replied, "Long enough to hear your conversation." I honestly just expected an apology. What my wife did next surprised me. She told me that her friend made some valid points.
Nah, she's just backed up in the corner. She feels like she's got to defend herself.
Oh no.
She wants to fight. She feels like she has to win now.
I tried staying calm. She followed up by letting me know that our lifestyle is only going to become more expensive over the next 20 years. We're trying for kids. And eventually, whatever money I was contributing was going to run out, and it would just be her income, and that the least I could do if I wasn't going to contribute was to do what she wanted. I asked what exactly she wanted from me because I thought paying half of all the bills, buying her gifts, taking her on dates, planning vacations was what I was supposed to do. I said some things next that I regret. I called her conceited, said her friends at work are leeches, and told her that her behavior was repulsive. She fired back and called me lazy and selfish for not prioritizing our financial well-being, not caring about her career and image, and being stubborn. At some point, the argument became a who does what contest, and she started talking about how much money she makes versus how much I make. She then had the outrageousness to suggest that I should be thankful to her because on the nights she goes out, guys hit on her and she says no. Her friends told her she should go for it since she wore the pants in our house.
Yeah, her friends are worse than leeches. They're like the parasites inside the leeches.
Not wearing the pants in the house. I can't. I don't usually get angry, but in that moment, my temper flared. This is the part where I think I earnestly might have messed up. Although I'm really proud of what my wife has done, I demeaned her accomplishments. I dropped the figure behind the obscenely high payout I received when I sold my company, the smart investments I made after, and just how much money I'm worth. To add insult to injury, I ended by calling what she makes pennies I wouldn't even piss on. I then told her to go and have relations with whomever she pleases. She stared at me in disbelief, called me a knucklehead for not telling her the truth, and stormed out. I walked into my bedroom when I noticed a half-empty bottle of wine and realized she was probably a little wasted. I got nervous and scared. I spammed her phone, begging her to come back and not cheat. She told me she was at her friend's house and sent a picture. She went to work this morning, and I've texted her and tried to call her all day, but she barely responds. I've made her dinner and want to set things right. Now on to some comments. Comment 1. Stop chasing her. You're validating her entire behavior. Tell her she can stay gone if she continues to act the way she does. OP says she's about to get back from work and we're going to have a very serious talk that the future of our relationship probably depends on. I think I'm going to have to figure out exactly why she's acting the way she is and maybe get her a therapist or marriage counseling or something if I can't work it through with her. I won't say I didn't consider just letting her go, but she truly is/was a great person who can be incredibly thoughtful, and I'm not ready to give up on that just yet. Either way, the wife is just about here, and I'm going to have maybe the toughest conversation of my life. Someone replied saying, why are you blaming everything on your wife? You kept your net worth hidden from your wife. You are married, not dating. You made a commitment to each other. You kept your net worth secret. Why? You both need marriage counseling, not just your wife, but you, because you obviously have trust issues. A lie by omission is still a lie.
I disagree with that. I guess the amount of money I'm playing with in my head is like a lot of money.
Yeah.
And like it changes people.
It does. Comment number 2. You lied to her for your entire relationship and you pissed all over her accomplishments, which she achieved with her own work. How is she supposed to know that you have FU money and can contribute to a child's life when you've lied all along? And you got that money by being just as driven and ambitious and image conscious as she is now. But since you cashed out, you're suddenly above that? I cannot tell you how betrayed I would feel if I learned that my husband had not been honest about his financial status for the entire time I knew him. That kind of deception would be a deal breaker for me. You think she's vapid and shallow, but she didn't lie to you. You lied to her. Comment number 3. I can't wait until all her snarky friends find out you're ultra wealthy.
Yeah, watch all her leech friends try to then play steal your man with you. That's what they'll do.
Right? And then be like, oh, well, he wasn't really that bad.
How many zeros?
Yeah, right?
Oh.
Comment number 4. You're newlyweds and she's out clubbing. Don't cry, beg, or validate her behavior. Only calm, civil, strong, and confident behavior will receive her respect. You both said ugly things, but her behavior and friends triggered this. Unfortunately, you can't fix this. Her friend group is toxic in general, and also to your marriage, as well as her bad attitude. Since they encourage adultery, you should insist on zero contact. She is no longer the woman you married, nor is she the role model you envision for your future kids.
Now, we're going very far there, but I do agree with the things about the friends. Her friends were literally encouraging her to cheat on you.
Frankly, I don't see her currently as a good candidate to reconcile. I think you need to motivate her. Let her see you taking the initial steps to terminate the relationship. See an attorney. In order to save your marriage, she must believe, bluff if necessary, you are willing to walk away. Finally, her comments about you not carrying your own weight actually burned a bridge. She's angry because you got to see the real person, materialistic, shallow, selfish, entitled, and zero empathy for you. Don't allow her to turn this around on you. Withholding your personal wealth is not on the same level as her showing her true face. There is an update.
And again, it might not even be her true face, but it's her money face. It's her I have more money than you now face. That's her face. All that stuff about her, like, that's just overblown. It's not black and white. It's gray. You know, I think that she can come back. There is definitely a chance for her to come back down to earth here.
Update. She came home to dinner last night, teary-eyed, and handed me a piece of paper. I got teary-eyed and said, please don't divorce me. She laughed and said, read it. It was a shoddily written-up agreement where she basically said, I won't take your money if anything does happen. I ripped up the paper and just hugged her. She spent the night at a friend's house that I actually know, not one from work. My wife's friend's husband was away on a trip, so it seems they had a long talk. She first thanked me for making dinner and started off by apologizing. I guess her friend told her she had become more distant and different than the person she knew and wasn't surprised we had an argument. She apologized for not defending me and wanting me to be someone different. She also specifically apologized for her comment about not cheating on me in hopes I know she would never ever consider infidelity. She then explained that while talking to her friend, she realized her career motivations stem from feeling less than others. She's a very bright person, but did not get the recognition she felt she deserved earlier in life and didn't want that to be taken away for not fitting in. She didn't want the others to think I was a loser or worse than their husbands. She also said that it wasn't an excuse to demand me to change who I am and that she's proud of the work I do. Part of the reason she married me was because I had a sense of purpose. She just didn't realize I had won my monetary race and was now focusing on the philanthropic race. She also said that she was sorry for making our relationship about money. I also owed her an apology for not being fully transparent with the money I earned. She knew I sold a company. I told her my financial future would be secure and had alluded to figures in the past, but not giving her an exact amount was probably a crappy thing to do. I never wanted anyone to be with me for money. Yeah, then I understand why you wouldn't say something like that, you know?
It's not you were like, oh, I'm a penniless man. I have no money. Oh, you were like, I have enough money. Our financial future is secured. I'd be like, all right. That sounds great. Go ahead and be a philanthropist.
She felt blindsided by the disclosure and walked out in part because she felt ashamed for talking about her wealth when I made more, upset that in comparison her accomplishments seemed meager, and in part because she felt I didn't trust her. If I were in her shoes, I would probably also feel a little betrayed. I also apologized for telling her that she earns pennies I wouldn't even piss on. It was a demeaning statement and invalidated her hard-earned accomplishments. She really is an incredibly smart and driven woman, and I love her for that. For me, being rich and not spending it on frivolous things was what I thought of as impressive. In terms of our monetary situation, we agreed that we should probably wait a little for kids so that we can work our situation out first. We have more to discuss about our financial future, but I made it clear I wasn't invested in living an extravagant life. She seemed fine with that, but said she enjoys buying some nice clothes, jewelry, and things like that. I also like that. I would love, like, if I could, like, afford, like, designer stuff that I actually liked. Yeah.
People like nice things,
Yeah.
I just like it when things look nice.
But I also am like, there is a level of price where I'm like, I don't care how I will never pay that.
Oh, yeah, same.
It's like the $1,300 T-shirt. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I'll hunt you if I find out that you bought that.
I think I'd only have an issue with it if she starts spending more than she can afford to and uses the money I earned pre-marriage as a safety net. Most importantly, with regards to her work friends, she told me it was made clear that they weren't a good influence. The group of girls at work are scandalous and infidelity has happened. I think her friend told her the marriage very well could end, and that served as a wake-up call. She showed me a text she sent those girls basically saying she doesn't appreciate them talking poorly about me and that if they can't respect our marriage, she can't be friends with them. We agreed that we should probably see a marriage counselor. At some point, the conversations shifted from our dining room to the sofas, and it was definitely very emotional. But for the first time in about a year, I saw real honesty and vulnerability from the woman I fell in love with. She fell asleep on the couch, and I lifted her up, brought her into the bedroom, and tucked her in. I'm gonna cry! That's so cute. Like, he just loves her, and he just didn't want someone to, like, be in it for the money. I respect that. And he's not flaunting it. He's not being like, oh, yeah, I'm better than you, except for that one moment. But that's because she kind of said it first. There's a lot of work still to be done, but if we're both as sincere as we were tonight, I believe we can get through it. Oh, there's a second update.
Let's go!
After almost 2 months of couples counseling and therapy, I feel ready to share my own judgments. My wife's promotion does not give her the right to act dismissive and disrespectful to others. Her new colleagues were terrible influences, and she became a bad person during that stretch. She truly thought she was better than others, and professional success entitled her to act without responsibility. Our relationship did deteriorate during that time as she neglected us for her. In our argument, for her to view me as less than because she thought I didn't earn as much truly hurt. I would never judge her for anything other than her character. To be judged on money and that too incorrectly, fundamentally, broke my trust in her character. Of course, I also broke her trust by not being transparent about my financial situation. From therapy, I found out I had a few reasons. I still wanted her to pursue her career and contribute to the house. I didn't want others to know. I also understand that she is ambitious and wanted to improve our life, and there can understandably be pressure from more successful colleagues to live a certain way. However, her behavior, going out late, hanging around questionable characters, saying she could cheat on me and I should thank her that she didn't, was still unwarranted. The fact that she changed still digs at me. If I didn't want all that money, would we be divorced right now? By the way, we would never divorce you. You can listen to full episodes just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime. There is another relevant update.
I think in your update, you have said some poignant remarks. I think you've gained perspective in the last couple months for sure.
I think in a very healthy way, too, that you are both getting the help that you need and deserve.
I hope this continues to trend up and we end it on a good note.
Yes, please. Therapy taught me 2 things. 1, I'm not wrong for feeling my wife has the far bigger problem. And 2, just because people on Reddit said I was wrong doesn't mean I'm not also partly right. But enough negativity. We both have done individual and couples therapy and have made tremendous progress. I have shared these thoughts with my wife and she has reciprocated. We still have work to do on the emotional aspects of our fallout, but the situation is genuinely better. I have wanted to forgive her from the moment she left, and she is earning that from me. I hope to do the same and earn her trust back too. Either way, we're expecting. So I think we're both extra committed to making this work. And that's the end.
It's baby time.
So they got the help that they needed. They had a big blowout, which, that happens. But then they reconciled, got the help that they needed, and now they're both working towards something that they both want.
And they're both making a baby. They got a little baby.
I love healthy relationships.